Thanks for tuning into the Market Wrap. I'm Niraj Shah Nickey Mirchandani, and the market's done well for itself, you have to say. We were talking about the possibility of this in the morning, considering the global markets were doing well. But I don't think too many people anticipated a day which had a percent kind of a gain with the kind of components that have moved and almost a trending day of sorts. So let's kind of dissect all of this market wrap today. So this is what the markets did, about a percent higher. Very strong move for the metal names, and actually it was not metals really. Economy facing names did very well. So Tata Motors, JSW Steel, SBI, you can see that all of those are economy facing names which had a fabulous outing in the session today. Ultratech Cement about a percent higher, good going. The fact that the market breadth was strong was evident from the fact that there were only 8 stocks trading in the red, and none of them, except for maybe Tree Cement, have a bit of an economy facing flavor to it themselves. So good start to the trading week. It typically is a truncated week, but it'll be interesting to see what the kind of volumes are in the holiday season on the FI side in the session today, because it smelled as if there's a lot of HNI activity. So it'll be interesting to see if there is institutional activity as well that happened in the session. But Brexit and related terms are doing very well. Nikki, good afternoon. What stood out in the large cap space?
Welcome back, Niraj. Good to see you on screen.
Likewise, Nikki.
Starting off with Tata Motors, because that's where the resolved Brexit deal overhang is. Tata Motors is the biggest beneficiary coming in from the move, because the kind of hit that JLR had been witnessing on account of that had dragged the stock lower. But then a resolved Brexit overhang now removes the key potential risk for JLR, which can now continue to export between UK and EU without additional costs. And CLSA, which has a buy rating on this counter with a target price of around 222 rupees at this point of time, says that the investors can now shift back their focus on volumes and mix and the cost reduction efforts, and the major overhang is now past the stock, and reaction to which you saw that major up move coming in for Tata Motors. But then, Niraj, coming back to you, what are the trends that you're picking up from the mid-cap space as a whole?
It was interesting to see how the real estate dominated names actually did very well. So let's pull up the MOV function first, and then Nikki will speak about some of the individual movers. But this is the MOV function, and remember we were talking about the breadth of the market. Look at that, 388 to 112. Just shows the kind of moves that the larger component of the stocks made. And if you just look at the gainers versus the losers, it tells you the story. The top loser, Dish TV, 5% down. The top gainer for Source, then Baba Lorry, Banu Agri, all of them had some pretty splendid gains, double-digit gains. Ahead of the board meet, and Nikki might have some idea there. Jindal Stainless, JSL, both of them doing very well for themselves, so good going there too. Indiabulls Real Estate did well, Indiabulls Financial Services did well. APL Apollo Tubes about 6% higher. So there was traction at the broader end of the spectrum for sure. And very few losers, as I said, maybe a couple of names like Biocon, Dish TV, etc. Came off a bit, but otherwise they belong to the gainers for sure. I'm guessing when you're talking about the mid-cap space, you're probably going to highlight the gainers as well. There was very little meat in the losers any which ways.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about stainless steel producers. Niraj, for the past couple of days, when you weren't around here, the stocks have been doing too well. Not just the steel sector, it's the stainless steel which has been picking up traction, because the kind of demand that we've been witnessing is ongoing, that we've seen for the entire financial year. In fact, ICICI Securities came with an initiation report on the sector as such, and said that the good time has started for the sector, and the sector is right now in the sweet spot. A couple of things are moving well in the favor of the industry, be it in terms of the healthy demand prospects, which are coupled with the government initiatives to aid the sector, on account of which you're seeing that up move coming in. Now, please do remember the fact that Jindal Stainless plus Jindal Stainless Hisar itself, they contribute to around 50% of the overall stainless steel sector combined together. So clearly these are going to be the two stocks which we need to keep an eye out on, and also have been reacting well in trade, be it in terms of stainless and for that matter Jindal Saw, because that company also is into pellets as well as stainless steel. So clearly a beneficiary to that. Apart from that, I'd like to speak about Piramal Enterprises, because Citi has opened a 90-day catalyst watch on this counter on account of 3 key reasons. One being the important one, potential bid winner for DHFL assets. We've been hearing a lot about the company emerging as the potential winner for these assets. Apart from that, sales have been picking up, and there is likely improvement in growth as well as the margins overall in the pharma space, which will benefit this counter. But then coming back to you, Niraj, any specific trends or anything that should be like, you'll be watching out for the days to come?
Actually, before we speak about the global, before you throw light on the global piece, Nikki, just very quickly the takeaways for the trade today before I hand it over to you. So strong up move by banks and takes the Nifty very close to the 14,000 mark. I think everybody's talking about how we need to break part this 13,750 to reach 14,000. We seem to be on the way to that. I think the Brexit related stocks showed some very smart up move in trade, but most probably unlikely to continue from what we did like gather from talking to smart people. And markets have rewarded the real estate and real estate related plays distinctly today, right? India's real estate, India's housing finance, Godrej properties, DLF, all of them doing well. So certainly that's a pocket I think most people would be watching out for. But the world is keeping an eye out on the globe. Donald Trump has finally relented, Nikki. Is that helping the global market?
Yeah, clearly you can see the optimism across the globe right now. European market that's trading in green, and if you look at the US stock futures, they're also indicative of a positive start coming in for the Wall Street. Finally, a welcome news that President Donald Trump has signed a $900 billion pandemic aid bill. Apart from that, there is a last week cheer which is related to post-Brexit trade agreement. In reaction to this, you've seen that smart up move coming in on both European market as well as US stock futures. But nevertheless, all eyes back in Indian market will remain on IT counters, given that Wipro will soon kickstart the buyback program, and reacting to it, you'll also see some amount of earnings kicking at the start of the new year. So clearly, some eyes will be there on the IT stocks. They'll continue to react, and we continue to watch the whole space keenly. But with this, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching.